What's up, guys? Welcome back to Table Talk Tuesday.
What's up, everybody?
My name is Joseph.
I'm Daniel.
And today we're talking about...
So we started last week talking about seeking God in this chaos, what that looks like, because just looking at the world at large and everything going on, either in our own personal life or the world, and everywhere. And then I started just thinking about, well, what stops us in our walk with God? Like, what can hinder us in our journey as we're trying to seek God? Not necessarily having a relationship with Him, say we do if you're a follower of Jesus, but what stops us from walking with Him? What kind of hinders that? What do you think? What are some things that stop us?
I think a really big one would be unforgiveness.
Unforgiveness?
I think that's such a big one because...
How many people are you not forgiving?
62.
Oh, you
67. 67.
Oh my God! No! No!
I think unforgiveness is a big one because it could seem small and it could just be something in your head. Oh, you don't forgive someone. But I think it really gets into your mentality and it could be really bad for you in the long run.
Yeah, I think unforgiveness is one of the kind of hidden things we kind of accept in our life. And it doesn't. It can be big or small. But we kind of just harbor things. And Jesus talks a lot about forgiveness. And obviously, He died on the cross. And as He died on the cross, He says, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do."
Yeah.
But He tells us a ton about forgiveness, and He gives a parable one time of this unforgiving servant kind of a way. This guy's been forgiven a lot, and this king, he had owed a lot of money. It's a story, and he's forgiven a lot, but then he goes out, and the guy owes him like a few dollars, and he like threatens him, and it kind of ends with the story of being like, king's like, "Are you kidding me? I forgave you so much, but you are unwilling to forgive your brother or the next person." And that's challenging. Just giving this story in a response to his followers, Peter specifically, as in how many times should we forgive someone? And have you had, when you've wrestled with forgiveness, what has helped you forgive someone that's hurt you before?
Well, for me personally, I used to not forgive lots of people, and I think the biggest thing that got into my head that made me realize that what I was doing was wrong was I started thinking about how Jesus wants us to go out and spread the gospel and share Him with other people. And when I'm unforgiving of someone else, it could really stop me from even talking to them and for sharing the message. Yeah,
and it goes further than that on forgiveness, because not only does He tell us to forgive, in Romans it talks about, hey, bless those. I mean, this is multiple times, but I'm thinking of Romans, but Jesus says it too. Bless those who curse you. And it says, do not seek revenge, leave it to the Lord. This whole idea, hey, if your enemy harms you, like, you actually bless them. It's like pouring hot coal on them. That's in Romans 12, I believe. And it's a challenge of like, wait, not only we're not to hold on to unforgiveness, but He says also go the extra mile in seeking to bless them.
Yeah.
And that I find is even more hard because we can somehow, our idea of forgiveness can be kind of like, you do you, kind of just don't be in my space, kind of thing. And just forgiveness doesn't mean that what someone's done is okay or to you or whatnot, but it's releasing to God, be like, God, I'm not going to seek revenge. I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to leave it in your hands. I've been forgiven much, therefore I should forgive. And so I'm challenged with that. That like, wait, forgiveness is not just. He's challenged us to not just forgive, but also to seek a way to be a blessing to them. Like, what do you think of that? Seek a way to be a blessing to those who hurt you.
That's a good way to think about it. I think there was this one time where these kids used to bully me, and I was really mad at them. I didn't forgive them for that. And then I was just praying about it. I prayed to God that they would stop. They never stopped, so I invited them to church. And I think I made an impact in their life through that.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Because it's easy for us to like harbor onto something, like, because you're in this instance you're innocent, like you're not like you're necessarily done anything. They're just picking on you.
Yeah.
And but it's easy to build just this bitterness, this unforgiveness, this frustration, that like seeking revenge or like wanting the worst for them. And I think in our culture, and this is big for our culture because we live now in this unforgiving culture. Of like, we're going to seek something you did 50 years ago and we're going to cancel you for it.
Yeah.
And whatever it might be. So it's an unforgiving culture in many ways. And I'm like, well, as believers, we should be the ones that seek to forgive and to show that with our actions. It doesn't mean we justify anything that someone's done or sin someone's living in, but we always seek. I think of Jesus when with the encounter with the woman caught in adultery, and where the religious people bring her before him. They're like, hey, the law says we should stone her. And I always want to know what Jesus wrote, because it says he bent down and started writing in the sand. He probably started like listing their sins or drawing pictures. I don't know. I want to know what he did.
Yeah, me too.
But he stood up and he said, hey, he who hasn't sinned, cast the first stone, and then they all leave. From oldest to youngest. But then he says to her, where's your accusers? And like, they're all gone. He's like, neither do I condemn you. But then he says, and Jesus had a right to condemn her because he actually had no sin. But he forgave her. And then he says, go and sin no more. And so there's this power in like forgiveness that it should change us. Jesus didn't justify her actions in that way, but he extended grace and forgiveness to her. And so I think that's big for us as we're seeking to follow Christ. This is the first a good point, is that we can't hold on to unforgiveness. It will really, really cripple us. It will destroy our walk, really hurt our walk with God.
Yeah. Definitely
Damage our walk with other people, and it will limit our impact. Like you're saying, it will limit your witness, because if you're trying to witness someone else, but you're holding on to this unforgiveness, but then you're talking about Jesus' forgiveness.
Yeah.
It's like
not the best.
You have a conflict in your spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus will forgive you, except for that person in my life. He's no way. But again, I want to specify that it doesn't mean that someone's done something is like, oh, it's all fine, it's all good. It doesn't. It's like, no, it just means that you're willing to release that to God, and pray that God will bless them in a way that reach them. And so, is there any other ones you see? I mean, there's tons of things we can list off, but is there anything that comes to your mind else that would be a hindrance or that would stop us, or not stop us, but obstacle in our walk with God?
I think sometimes in our life, when we're trying to follow God, the devil will throw little distractions in our life to try to stop us, or to try to slow our momentum down.
Those are like that?
Yeah, it's like a ninja star.
Oh man, that's crazy.
And so I think we should definitely be weary of like these little sins that we see.
Okay. Well, what's the example of like little sins?
Little sins, like stealing.
No, what?
Like murder.
Oh man, your level of little and big is concerning. So what would be like okay? So I'm gonna say like what we would think is like little sins.
Yeah.
And I think we have, and I read this great book. If you haven't read it, I encourage you. It's called Acceptable Sins or Respectable Sins. It kind of changed the title by Jerry Bridges. And his whole approach to the book is that and this is writing to believers, and challenging us on how we view sin, and that we often have these hierarchy of sin, like the ones you say are little, the big ones, like murder, adultery. Well, you can make the list off, okay?
Yeah.
Stay away from those. Those are bad. Oh no, man. But we have what we call acceptable sins, which are like sins we're okay keeping in our lives because they're not as bad as the other ones, like gossip. Like gossip's a big one. If you read the list of sins, where it's it always lists off different sins, gossip is often in there, and I think that's a very acceptable one.
Yeah, I think that's one we don't realize we're doing sometimes.
Yeah.
So we think about it.
Sometimes we treat it as prayer.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, let me pray. I got a prayer request for a friend of mine who went and gossip the next 10 minutes more about. But gossip, what are some other ones you think kind of acceptable or small, we see as small sins?
I think for me personally, what's it called when you're constantly compare yourself to someone else?
Comparison?
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's a word. Remember?
I see what you mean, but I think it's comparison. I think the word we're going for.
What was the word? Never mind. I'll cut that out.
No, keep it.
I don't know. What do you think?
One that comes to my mind all through Scripture is unthankfulness.
That's a sin?
I'd say it is. Because God, you see all the issues through, all the issues Israel goes through, so often it's ungratefulness is tied to it too. That they didn't remember, they forgot, they're ungrateful. I think when we're unthankful or ungrateful to God and what He's given to us, I think in a way it's telling God Like, I don't need you. I've done this myself.
Wow.
And I don't know if we necessarily always label that as sin, but it is. I think it falls into the category because I'm like, it is kind of in a sense like, God, I'll do my own thing, which is what we do with any sin.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the ones, and we should be people that are the most grateful.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean life is perfect, but we should be people that are most grateful because God's forgiven us, that we're redeemed, that we've been torn out of the clutches of hell, in a sense, and not in a sense, in reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, ungratefulness, and so I just think that we need to like kind of self-reflect, everybody, and as we think about this, that it's not just the big things; it's the small things. You know, the small things are what affect us. The small things that we keep hidden. With Saul, King Saul in the Bible, he had jealousy.
Wow.
That kind of just took root in his heart, didn't take it seriously, and if you read his life, it kind of controlled him. He was jealous and angry at David and sought to kill him the rest of his life.
Damn.
He died in battle, very sad.
Wow.
And so we want to like think about those things. Wait, is there sin that I'm holding on to in my life that I don't see as that big a deal? Again, that could be unforgiveness too, but I'm just kind of just wanting to separate those a little bit and how us think about these things. But again, there's so many things we could list off, but we just want to challenge us today as we're learning to walk with God. What are those things that we'll trip over quite easily? You know, and we just see unforgiveness is something we'll trip over, sin is something we'll trip over. We could have more, but there's just a couple that we want to think through. Any last thoughts from you?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something we should be thinking about throughout the week. Is what's something little or big that you see is trying to hinder your path and your walk with God. Yeah.
Facts. All right. My good sir. We will catch you guys next time.
See you guys. Bye.
No, you don't do this. Do this.
Okay.
Don't do this.